Thank you so much for a wonderful introduction. Um, okay, yeah, so I'm going to talk about what I do, making paper interactive. Well, actually, I haven't exactly figured what I'm going to talk about yet, so I'm kind of making this up as I go along. But what I was thinking was, there's a few questions that I get asked a lot. So what do I do? And it's really hard for me to describe what I do. When did I invent it? And I really have no idea. And where can it be used? And I'm also never quite sure what to say. So, so I thought I'd try and answer those questions right now without having the answers, maybe, and talk about that a little bit. So, well, the easiest way to describe what I do is actually not to describe it, it's just to show it. So, I need to figure out how to make this make some noise. But so I don't know if you can hear that. So yeah, this is a poster that is also a drum kit. But it's kind of high-tech, but it's also kind of low-tech. And really what we've done is it's a mix of regular printing. So it's a regular printed poster with some conductive inks printed on the reverse. And then there's some batteries and a little thing that makes the whole thing shake, so the whole thing becomes a speaker. And then there's a little circuit board stuck on that has some software running on it. But basically, and actually the chip that we use, we write the software in what's called assembler, which is pretty much the oldest computer language. And the processor that we use is a 6502 processor. It's the same processor that was in the Apple II. So we're kind of putting the guts of an Apple II onto a piece of paper and making the paper kind of have like iPhone-like touch. So it's just a mix of those two things. Leave that there. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. And I'm trying to think, when I invented it, I don't really feel like I've invented anything. It's just kind of been a journey. So from when I was a kid, I was just really passionate about making things interactive, and I've spoken about that at a talk before. I just wanted everything in my bedroom so you could touch it and it was connected, and things would happen. And then after lots of years later, I never really thought back to that time. I ended up, once I'd finished my PhD, I worked for a startup company in Cambridge. And I was like the 5th employee, and we were looking at how to print transistors so we could print flexible displays and those types of things. And I worked there for 4 years, and it was good and it was bad. Basically, the bad thing was we had way too much money, and I think during the course, and this company started like 13 years ago or so, raised over $500 million and spent it developing technology. And it's just too much money just saturates out any creativity at all. So, and it creates a lot of politics, so it was horrible. So I left, and I started out again in my garage. And I was looking at how I could continue being a scientist and carry on printing transistors. But what I realized when I showed people what I had with these printed transistors, that these things were going to take years to develop, cost lots of money, and even if they cost no money as a product, paying back all the money that had been invested would make the things cost way too much. So I kind of went on a journey of just listening to people, talking to people, and showing some of the simple things that we could do. And everything just kept going back down to what's the lowest common denominator. What can we do right now? So we can print conductive inks. Printing process has been around. It's the oldest high-volume manufacturing process, and it's in every single city in the world. So it's a great way to make things, and things are made by machines, not by lots of people with hands. And also taking the most simple form of electronics, which is a silicon microcontroller, which is in things like Disney toys, Happy Meal toys, even Barbie has a microcontroller in there doing stuff. and just kind of realizing, just combining those two things together. And yeah, so that's kind of like the journey of how I got to kind of having some of this stuff. And then thinking about what those things are, I would show people what I could do, but I'd listen to people and what their problems were, what their products were, and just become inspired by how I could solve people's problems. So really there was just a whole massive dose of empathy in there as well. So then as things progressed, I pulled together a small team, and there's 7 people in my team now. And a really important thing about my team is that the team is very, very diverse. So, I think where I'd worked before, founded by scientists, little bit of a God image, so hire everyone else in their own image. You end up with 50 PhDs. So, so I'm good at the bit that I do, but I'm rubbish at so many other things. So the first person I hired was a graphic designer, and I have an electronic engineer, a couple of software engineers, product designer, someone who knows about inks and printing. And together, we can do stuff that no one else can do, not because any one of us is any cleverer than anyone else in the world, but just because we have a diverse team who work together and have a lot of empathy and try and create things that people want. So I think another really important aspect of what we're trying to do is what we've created with these printed things is they can be printed anywhere. So we can print these products in any city in the world using regular printing presses that are already there. And the electronics is just a low-cost part made in Asia, which can then be stuck onto the piece of paper. But what's also really important is we don't want to design these products. So I'm trying to create a platform that would allow local designers to design local products and have them made locally, because there's no way that I am smart enough to invent products that are required in lots of different markets, countries, and wherever. So it's I'm really passionate about local design and local manufacture. And then thinking about where some of these things might get used, I'm basically now just going to show a load of demos that may or may not work, and I always get very anxious about this bit because there's lots of Bluetooth going on. Looking at things like interactive books, interactive posters, interactive print in the street, there's medical applications, packaging. So let me start off and show, which one am I going to show? Okay. This one is a bit battered because it's done the tours with me. I even took it to Burning Man, so it's a little bit worn out. Oh, it's my glamorous assistant. Please, we're not quite ready yet. So this poster has some music on it.
Sunshine mornings are better with the windows.
Yeah. And I always love the opportunity to work with creative people. So this is working with my niece, Charlotte. So in most of my work, I tend to accidentally put her music, try and promote her a little bit. Yeah, so I'll just tell you a little bit about that. I'm not quite sure how much time I've got left. But so we're thinking of creating a website called audioposters.com. And the idea we're thinking on the website is these posters, some of these posters are based on a fixed template of touch points. And we want to put those on the website and then invite anyone to submit designs so they can submit some graphics and some sound. And we want to make it so it's affordable for us to print that one design, put it for sale on the website, and then find local partners to print it, and then sell them to anyone anywhere in the world, and then share the money that we make with the person whoever designs it. So we can have products that are designed and made locally, but they can be digitally distributed to anywhere in the world. So, because in trying to think about how we get this out there, we end up thinking about different business models that maybe we could sell things and make things in a totally different way. So, and that just comes about through being empathetic, really, and thinking about what we're trying to create. So yeah, so that's the audio posters. Have about 3 different Bluetooth things all connected to different stuff, so I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. So, okay. And I'll just show this book. Is there a camera that can show, can that go on what I'm showing? Not sure if you can see. Oh yeah, okay. So this is the book that I made, again, with my niece. And yeah, so it's a regular book, but in one of the pages, we have some Bluetooth touch points. And I'll just try and plug that in. Oh dear. Hate wires. We need to get rid of wires.
1, 2, 3, 4, shake, shake.
Oh, I should show it on here. Can you see? You can't see. Okay, I'll just turn that down a second. So I'll tell you just a little bit about the story about the book. So, actually, I'll turn it down. Yeah, so we created this book that has the lyrics for Charlotte's album. It has an album in the book, and it has this where you can touch things and it connects to the phone and plays her music, which is great, and we made it like about a couple of months ago. But then it started to annoy me because I thought all we've done is created a fancy album cover. It's not actually any more than that. So we're going to redo the book. We're taking all the content out. We're getting rid of the album because that's now a little bit old school. And we're going to move the Bluetooth to the back. And it's going to be about an album that doesn't exist. So the book is going to be full of content that she wouldn't normally dare to put online. So it's stuff you can't Google. And it's a book that if you're a fan and you buy, it's kind of like a backstage pass to kind of some of this information. And then the idea is that that kind of connects an artist and the fans together in a way that's fairly exclusive. And then as she creates new content, as she creates new music, maybe writes some lyrics on a napkin, she can upload it. And as she does a video of the first music sat there playing in her bedroom, that gets uploaded, and you get a text or an email to let you know there's new content. But then kind of like what we realized, actually at first I thought, well, everyone's got to carry the book, how is that going to work? But actually what it ended up meaning is, when you receive that message, you can't consume the content unless you're at home with the book, with a cup of tea, a glass of wine, or whatever, not in the office with your friends, crossing the street, sat on the toilet. Lots of emails get sent from the toilet. And we ended yeah, you sit on the toilet and you hear swoosh, swoosh, swoosh of emails being sent. So kind of like ended up with a book. It's kind of being about mindfulness. It's actually, I mean, everything I create has to be nothing to do with technology, 100% about experience, and that's what I really love to try and do. So that's what we realized with this book, is you can only consume the content when you're in the moment, when you're holding a beautiful book and connecting with the artist. And she'd be able to send direct messages to individuals as well. Oh my gosh. Okay, right. I don't know if I'm out of time or not, but I'm going to carry on a little bit because I need to show some more things. Okay. Right. Is a way to have a camera showing what I'm doing? Can that come from behind? Can you show the screen? I'm not sure. No. Can you show the screen on? Yep. Okay. I don't know if you can see, but basically, this is a keyboard. Shall I hold it up? I need you to show that screen when I'm typing. No, never mind. Anyway, this is the keyboard, and okay. It's so, oh, be careful. It's so thin, and you can't type in the air. So it's basically just a label. So we can print this on a label press that can be printed at 100 meters a minute. So it's just a piece of print, one circuit board stuck on, and then it's a Bluetooth keyboard.
It's a piece of paper.
Yeah, a piece of plastic, yeah. It's just a label. It's the same machine that prints shampoo bottles, and every city has one. Every city can manufacture keyboards, and it's just one chip and one piece of print, and it's got to be the lowest cost way of making a piece of electronics. So, it's just using stuff that's been around for a while, and just enabling things are just really the fact that the Bluetooth keyboards with this protocol now have only just come out in iOS 7, Windows 8, and whatever. So it's kind of very much of the moment, but right at the moment when we were ready, after my sort of like 9-year journey, which is kind of nice. Right. Another thing. This is kind of fun.
I'm here. You need me.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No, I will need you.
You prepare that. I want to do that. It's just a second. You prepare, yeah?
How do I do this? Right, I don't know where the camera is.
We will rock you. When you're ready, tell me. Okay.
Yeah. So this has lots of different instruments on it. It's Bluetooth to my iPad. So. can have a go. Yeah, so...
You just popped in.
Big applause, please.
Right for the summer workout tape. And ladies, if you follow these instructions exactly...